What is this friend class and friend function in C++? If you remember, when we discussed about access specifiers like private, public, and protected. Okay, I just quickly repeat this. Private, you have class A. Inside this, you define so many things as private. So this private variables can be accessed only in the class A member functions. Private variables can be accessed in member functions which are written inside class A. Outside class A, you cannot use private variables. Public, second one, public. When you declare variables as public, they can be accessed inside the class as well as outside the class. But third type, that is protected. When we discuss this protected concept, we said that the protected variables can be used in friend class or in derived class. In the derived class or in friend class, we can use this protected members. Let's try to explore this in detail. So what is friend class? Okay, a friend class can access private and protected members of other classes in which it is declared as a friend. Okay, so like this you have to write friend, class and class name. Friend, class and the class name. Okay, I will just go to a theory example of this and come back to understand these theoretical points. Let's see this example here. Okay, see, I have class first. In that I have private, protected and public variables and functions. There is one variable private, one variable protected and one function public. Okay, and after that, after writing these three, I wrote one statement: friend, class, class name. B. It means class first and class B are friends. These two are friend classes. They are not derived. Understand the difference. They are not derived. This is not parent, this is not child. Parent child is different, friends is different. Here, class first and class B are friends. When both of them are friends, we know we share our properties, our belongings with our friends, right? We share our belongings with our friends in lab or in class or in somewhere, right? So that way. Now, you see, I declare it as friend. It means from this class B, the object of this class B with the object of this class B, okay, I can use these private members. I can use this private and protected variables. Generally, when we talk about private access specifier, we say that this variable cannot be used outside the class. Private variable cannot be used outside the class. But here, since we are saying that friend A, friend first and friend B are friends, okay, they are friends. In that case, we can have the values as this k. You can use these two variables, private and protected, using the object of class B, or you can use these two variables inside class B. See the example here, I have a function display. See, the value of private variable is t dot private variable. What is t? Actually, this class name is A. I made a mistake. It is A, class A. Okay, so how to create an object for class A? See, A ampersand T, A ampersand T. This I will teach you when we go in detail about inheritance concept. You have to understand. So this is one way of creating object for that. So A ampersand T, it means this T is an object for this class A. This is class A. So T dot private variable, its value will be given. T dot protected variable, its value will be given. Okay, see the main. I am creating main here. This is again A. This is again B. Okay, So that fry dot display of G, it means object of class A I am passing here. Object of class A I am passing here. To receive the object, we receive the object like this and we are able to access. Okay. So friend class means what all private and protected variables you have inside the original class, they can be accessed inside your friend class. Generally, when you write private and protected variables, they cannot be used. Private cannot be used anywhere. That is fixed. Protected can be used in derived class, but this is not parent-child relationship. It's a friend relationship, friendship between two different classes. Okay, that's the significance about friend class. Let's go and understand. Let's go and understand more about the theoretical concepts of friend class. See, a friend class can access private and protected members of other classes in which it is declared as friend. So here it has to be declared. Friend class B is declared in class A. Okay, when you declare this way, then this B can access these variables. B can access these variables. Next point. Sometimes useful to allow particular class to access private and protected members. Generally, we know private cannot be accessed outside class, protected cannot be accessed unless until it's a inherited class. But sometimes you want to allow, then you can use the concept of friend class. Okay, so what is the syntax we have seen? Friend, class, and the class name, right? We can declare friend class or function anywhere in the base class body, whether it is private, protected, or public. One very important point. Okay, you can use it anywhere here like this. See, I wrote the statement here. You can write this statement under private, under protected, or under public. There is no difference. You can write it anywhere in this full class body. There is no much difference. You can write it anywhere you want. Just one line you have to write the keyword friend, then class, and which class you want to make as friend. That is class B or class second, whichever you want to make it. When you write like this, A and B become friends. Now I have one question here. Okay, let me go back here and write. There is one class F1. In that there is one private variable int x, and I wrote friend class F2 and I close this. I close the class. So there is one simple class F1. There is a private variable int x, and I declared friend class F2. It means F1 and F2 are friends. So there is something like this. Class F2. I have some expression x equal to maybe t dot x equal to t dot x plus 10. Something like this I have. Or maybe I will write one more little different example here. So I have here another private int y. In class F2 I have that. Then some set of statements are there here. Now I wrote friend class F2 inside F1. I wrote friend class F2 inside F1. So I am saying that F1, F2 are friends. What is the purpose of this friend function? This private variable x can be accessed in this class F2. It can be accessed in this class F2. That is its meaning when we write like this. So F1 class having x can be accessed by F2. F2 class can be accessed. Now my question is, F2 class has a variable y. Can this be accessed using F1? Because it is having private int y, F2. And I am saying that F1, F2 are friends. F1, F2 are friends. So the F1 has a variable x which can be accessed by F2. F2 has a variable y. Can this be accessed by F1 if I say that F1 or F2 are friends? Can you guess? Can we access the private variable y, which is part of second function F2 from F1? Understood my question? Again, I will repeat, very important point. Class F1, private variable int x. Friend class F2. That's it, my class is. That's it, simple. 3 lines or 2 lines. I am saying F1 is one class. It has a variable x. And I am saying that F2 is a friend of F1. So, what is its meaning? Its meaning, inside F2, I can access this private variable x. Why? I have quoted that F1 and F2 are friends. Similarly, when F1 and F2 are friends, F2 also has one private variable int y. Why? Can this y be accessed from F1 or not is my question. We are saying that both are friends. F1, F2 are friends. When both are friends, F1's private variable x, I am able to access it using F2. Then F2's private variable y, can I access it using F1? Is my question. Okay. So yeah, some of them answered as yes. The important point here is that you, once again, I will just erase this and write it again here. I am writing like this: class F1 open bracket private. I am writing int x. I am writing here as friend class F1 and I am closing brackets. Okay. So when I write like this, class F1 private int x class friend class F1, friend class F2, when I write like this, it means F1 is friend to F2. Okay, F1 is friend to F2. Friend class F2 means for F1, it has a friend class, that is F2. Okay, so but F2 is not friend for F1. But F2 is not friend for F1. We know sometimes, no, one side love kind of thing. One side love. Somebody, no, F1 is loving F2, but F2 is not doing it back. So F1 can give anything to F2, but F2 will not give anything back to F1. Okay, so that way, here the question which I asked, that when you write F1 in class F1, if you write friend class F2, F2 gets the privilege to access the private variables of F1. But F1 does not have the privilege to access the private of F2. Friendship is one way here. Friendship is one way. It is not both the ways in C++. I hope you got my idea. One side love. We cannot have both ways. That is the significance of this friend function. Right. Let's this is just an example. Let's talk about friend function now. Friend function. Okay, what is this friend function? Same like friend class, same as friend class, like the same friend class. A friend function can be granted special access to private and protected members of a class in C++. Here in this example, we are saying a class is having access, whole class is having access. Same way, I will write the name of a function here. That function can be in class B. Okay, see, friend function can be granted special access to private and protected members of class in C++. Okay, I will let's not waste our time. Let's see an example and try to understand. See this example. Same thing. I have class base. Carefully, I will go through the code. Class base, private, one private variable, protected, one protected variable, public, one function. Public and one function is there. See here, I wrote friend, void, friend function, and I am passing some object. I am passing some object. See, instead of writing friend class name, we are writing friend function name we are writing. Friend function name we are writing. Now, outside this class base, I can define a function like this, friend function with the object as the parameter. And using this object obj, I can access the private and protected variables. Okay, again I repeat, private and protected variables. Private and protected variables of a class cannot be accessed outside this class. They cannot be accessed outside this class. They have to be used within the class itself. Okay, private variable cannot be used outside. But if you want to use it outside, if I want to use private outside, I have to either use friend class or I have to use friend function. It means I am making this function as my friend and I am giving some privileges. So see the main for base class, I have created object1, and I am calling function friend function object1. There is no function here, friend function. Its body is somewhere outside. So using the object of base class, I am able to access a function outside the class. How? Because I define it as friend. Okay, I hope you understood about friend function. Can we give class as parameter? No, we can give our object as parameter. We are yet to study that. We can give object as parameter. See, for this friend function, I am passing object as the parameter. That is received here. That is received here like this, base ampersand, because it's a base class variable, and I'm giving some name obj. Using this obj, I'm able to access the private members of base class. Also, I'm able to access the protected members of the base class. Right? So this is about friend function. Let's theoretically see. So they are not member functions of the class. This is not a member function. This is not a member function. Member function is only one base. Okay, there are two variables and one function. So these are data members and this is member function. Okay, but this friend function is a function outside class. It's a function outside class, part of the main function. That way you can consider. So they are not member functions of the class, but can access and manipulate the private and the protected members of the class, for they are declared as friends. Only if it is declared as a friend, then we can access these two outside main or outside the class. Okay, so there are two ways you can define friend function. One as a global function, another one as a member function of another class. Member function of another class. Let's see that. This case you have already seen. This case is very simple. You see, this is a global function. It's a global function because this friend function can be called from main or from any other place also. Okay, but we are saying this is a friend function. This function is a friend function for this class base. Second case, you see, member function of another class. Member function of another class. Slowly I will take you through the code. So I have base class, I have this base class, I have private variable, I have protected variable, and I have the same thing. I have declared void friend void another class member function, another class member function, another class, it has one function void member function. Okay, so here base another class has a function member function. So if I make it simple in terms of C1 C2, class C1 has a function fun1, or let's take ABC. It has a function ABC. Okay, now class C2, okay, it has some private variable, protected variable, it has some variables, and I am saying here that friend ABC. I am saying friend ABC. I am not writing like this directly, I have to write like this. Friend, then what is the class name? C1, no, C1 double colon, we are to study this. This is not given in our syllabus, we have to understand this. Double colon ABC. Where am I writing this? I am writing this in class C2. In class C2, there is a private variable, there is a protected variable, and I am writing friend C1 ABC. It means C2 has a friend function ABC. C2 has a friend function ABC. This ABC, which is part of class C1, this ABC, which is part of class C1, can access the private variable and the protected variable. Okay, I hope you understood about friend function, right? I'll repeat once again, try to make it simple. One way is defining as global function. Okay, so I have class, maybe just a second, I'll just take an empty slide. See here, see, class C1, I have one private variable int x. I am saying friend some int square. Okay, friend int square. If you see here, that way we are what we are trying to give here, right? Friend int square of here I will give the class second class name. Okay, we will give here the this one C1 ampersand object 1. I will talk. I know I will teach you what is this ampersand. I will talk about that. So there exists a function int square which takes again C1 ampersand O1 or O2 also, whatever it is. It can be anything. This you. I hope you remember function call. Function call. We pass ABC of A comma B and we put semicolon. Whereas in the body you can write int x comma int y, right? So A is passed into x, B is passed into y. Same way here. Okay, same way. I'll tell you what is the significance of this ampersand. See, int square C1 ampersand O2. So its job here it is that it will return whatever value is coming. Whatever value is coming, assume that value is coming as this what we say. Yeah, we have this private variable. No, we have this private variable x. So return x in O2. Sorry, return O2 dot x into O2 dot x. Okay, int main. Now, how many classes do I have? Only one class. What is that class? Class C1. So C1 object O1 I'll create. O1 dot O1 dot. Do I have a function here? Do I have a function square? No, but it's a friend function. So I can call here O1 dot square. O1 dot square with some value 10. With some value 10. Now 10 is passed here and that is multiplied and square is given to us. The overall point here is that inside a class C1, there is a private variable x. There is a private variable x, and we know that a private variable inside a class cannot be accessed outside the class. If I want to use this variable x outside the class, then one way is define a friend function or else define a friend class. So friend function, how we are defining it? We are writing there as friend. We are writing the function name as friend, and object of this base class is given as input. Object of the base class is given as input. Okay, right? So in the function I have the business logic or the implementation logic, and from main I am trying to call. If you see this example now, which is clearly given here, see, base ampersand object, base ampersand object. See, I am for a base class I am creating an object 1. For a base class I am creating an object 1 and I am calling a function friend function because it's global function. See, I need not write here object. I need not write here object dot because this function is a global function like this. It can be directly accessed from main without anything. Okay, and it has void return type. So friend function, this object I am giving here. This object I am passing it here. Now see, till now you have studied about passing array as a variable, passing address of a variable, passing values directly, call by value, call by reference. You might have heard about that. Here we are passing object to a function, passing object to a function. See, for a function I am giving object as the input. When I pass an object to a function, you know how to receive address. When you are passing address, there is a function fun, you are passing address like this. What does it means? You are passing addresses. Okay, so to receive I have to use base ampersand obj. It means this object once address is passed here, base, that class name, ampersand. Why base class name here? What is the this object one is being passed? This object one belongs to which class? It belongs to base class. So we write here base ampersand obj. Now when I do this base ampersand obj, right, here you see this obj object can access the private variables, Okay, this is about global function as friend function. When you are passing object to a function, you have to use ampersand symbol. It indicates address, reference. It indicates reference actually. This object once reference is copied here. Okay, let me make it simple. Let me make it more clear and simple. I'll take one example here. I have class C1. I have public. You take public. I have int x, int y. Both are public and some statements are there here. In main, inside main, I will be creating object C1 space object 1. I have created a object 1. Now since this is public, using this object 1 dot x, I can give 10. I can give object 2 dot y equal to 20. I am able to access the public variables x and y outside the class in the main using the object obj1 of class C1. Like this, I am able to do operations, right? So now what does object holds? What does this object 1 holds? It holds the values of x and y. It holds the values of x and y. Now this example here. So this object 1 holds the values of x and y. For example, assume those values I want to pass. Those values I want to pass to a function, right? So when I want to pass those values which are there in this object 1, or object 1 has the privilege to access everything here. It has the privilege to access everything of this class based on rules again, based on some rules, it has the privilege to access. Okay, so here this object 1 has the privilege to access public variables directly. It means it holds, memory allocation is done for this object. It will be something like this. This is 10, this is 20. Okay, and this is the starting address of the object. This here is the starting address of the object. It is holding some address. Now if you see here, I am passing that object as a parameter to a function. I am passing that object obj1 as a parameter to a function. So whatever values this object 1 is holding, their starting address is being sent to the function. Their address is being sent to the function. Their reference is being sent here. For that, this is, we are actually we are yet to study the reference variables. Okay, we are yet to study this reference variable, but this concept is there after that. Okay, so there you will understand. So we have to give the base class ampersand obj. It means this obj, understand this meaning, understand the meaning of this statement. This obj is same as your object 1. It is just a copy of that. this object one's copy is obj. In function call fun, you write 10 comma 20 and you close it. Then you write some statements and close. Then you will write here void function int x comma int y, and you do some operations here. See, 10 is copied here, 20 is copied here. This we already know very well. If I change anything in x, if I change anything in y, will not be reflected here because it's called by value. Okay, but if I want to create a reference, that any change if I make here, they should be reflected here. If I say, then I have to use the ampersand symbol. It indicates that whatever properties or privilege this object 1 has, okay, that is there for this object 2, object obj. That is first point. Second point, when you are passing an object as a variable to a function, when you are passing object as a parameter to a function, at the receiving end, it should have this kind of a syntax: base class ampersand the dummy. So it means object 1 properties are copied into obj, and this obj is the meaning of this statement is obj is an object of base class. Obj is an object of base class. So indirectly in this program, base class has two objects. One is object 1, this one. Another is obj, this one. Okay, for the base class there are two objects, object 1, obj, right? Why have I used ampersand? It is a reference. It is called reference. It is used for reference variable. It means what all properties this object had, the same obj has it. Okay. I will answer your queries. We will see that. This second one, member function of another class. It is simple. You are having class 1, you are having class 2, and this function f1 belongs to class c1. This is c2, and you are saying friend f1. In c2, class c1 is there, it has functions f1. Class c2 is there, you are saying inside c2 that friend f1. It means C2 class has some private and protected variables which can be accessed by the function f1, which belongs to class c1, Okay, this is about the friend class and friend function. Okay, if we let us see some important points about friend class and friend functions. Friends should be used only for limited purpose. Okay, maybe your questions might be answered with this important points. Okay, friend should be limited purpose only, we have to use it. Second, too many functions or external classes are declared as friends of a class with protected private lessens the value of encapsulation. See, what is the intention of this friend function or friend class? In class C1, there exists some private and protected. Why do we have these two access specifiers, private, protected? So that we can implement encapsulation concept or data hiding concept. I can implement it. But if I keep creating functions and always say C1 has function F1, C1 has function F2, C1 has function F3, in what is the meaning of then private? Then put it public? No, it's very easy. If you put public, you need not write that statement also. Friend, always you need not write it. Simply make this public, and anywhere outside the class you can use F1, F2, F3, and in F1, F2, F3 functions use these two variables, private and protected variables. Okay, that's why it is not encouraged. You cannot always use too many functions as friends or too many classes as friend classes. Otherwise, there is no meaning of this encapsulation concept. Only some rare cases, if you feel that privilege can be given to one function for this variable alone, then you can use friend class or friend function. Friendship is not mutual. That's what I was talking. Class A is friend of B, then B does not become a friend of A automatically. Okay, class A is friend of B, then B does not becomes friend of A. It is one side only. It is not this way. And friendship is not inherited. It means friendship is not inherited means class A, I say friend class B. I say friend class B and write like this. This is only friendship. It is not inheritance. Remember that. It means from class B, you have so many things. You create object for class B. This OBJ object which belongs to class B cannot access all these variables here because it's not inheritance. It's only friendship. So only few things can be accessed. Okay, so friendship is not inherited, it is not inheritance, it's only friendship. Only those private and protected variables can be used in the functions. Okay, so this is about friend class and friend functions. Friend class and friend functions in C++.